You're not a snake, and I'm not an ocelot. We're men with names. My name is Adamska. What's yours?
Play enough video games and you're bound to start noticing a lot of similarities. One thing you'll also begin to notice is how many video game characters share the same name, and how similar these characters can be. We've brought together 8 incredibly common names in video games and examined their definitions. It'll be your call on whether or not the characters they're attached to live up to the history. Here are 8 of the most common names in video games, and what they mean. The Japanese word Ri has 2 meanings, either dragon or school. Often these are used in conjunction with martial arts styles. Considering many video game characters named Ryu are masters of some kind of fighting style, it's usually an apt description. Take Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden for example. This super ninja's full name translates literally to both dragon and peregrine falcon. Understandable since he strikes with the ferocity of a dragon and the grace of a bird. Nope, no jokes here. Hayabusa's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Meanwhile, Ryu from Street Fighter will forever be remembered as the black-haired fighter who taught us all how to Hadouken! He's a master martial artist and shoots fireballs out of his hands. We could go further into Street Fighter lore to explain the connection, but just trust us when we say the name is a perfect fit. Lastly, the main character's name in every Breath of Fire game is always Ryu, which makes sense as he's able to actually transform into a dragon. Hell, he's probably the most accurately named of the bunch. Nathan is a name of Jewish origin meaning God will give or God has given. Nathan was also a prophet in the Bible's Old Testament. Whether this name has any significance with the characters who use it, well, you might be surprised. Nathan Copeland from No More Heroes 2 may be ranked 50th in the United Assassins Association, but he's also the president of an underground hip-hop label and the founder of a religious group that spreads the gospel through rap music. He's even got a brass knuckle that says, "I heart God" on it. So yes, the name fits surprisingly well. Nathan Drake from Uncharted has assuredly dealt with religious artifacts and text during the course of his adventures, even if he spends most of his time blowing them up. So maybe Nathan isn't the best fit for Naughty Dog's treasure hunter, but that's okay, because it's the legacy of his last name that defines his personal quest for discovery. Nathan Hale is a soldier responsible for saving Britain from the Chimera in Insomniac Games' Resistance series. And while he may not have any religious connection to his first name, he bears the same name as a spy that was captured and hanged for treason against the British during the American Revolution. Before he was executed, the real-life Hale declared, "I only regret that I have but one life to give for my country." Luckily, Resistance is a video game, so this Nathan's got loads of them. Derived from the Old English words for ash, no surprise there, and meadow or forest, Ashley was primarily a boy's name until the late 20th century. It wasn't until the 1980s soap opera The Young and the Restless that it became a hugely popular girl's name. Never underestimate the power of daytime TV. At heart, Ashley Graham from Resident Evil 4 is just a sweet all-American girl thinking about boys. Specifically the crazy ones with axes and chainsaws hell-bent on infecting the planet with a parasitic worm. Ashley herself is bright and full of life, but her world is an ashen forest if we ever saw one. Plus, she's about as useful as a dead tree in combat, so sure, we'll say the name fits. Ashley Williams from Mass Effect is a career soldier who possesses a decorated history and is just a teensy bit space racist.
You're not even our species.
But she's also deeply inspired by her faith and possesses a secret love of the poet Lord Alfred Tennyson. Get past that tough wooden exterior and you'll find a blossom. Aww. Ashley Riot from Vagrant Story is one of the few men in games to hold the name, but he owns it. As a member of the elite Risk Breakers, he's tasked with deadly missions filled with political intrigue, cult members, and backstabbing. Riot also enjoys color coordinating with a lot of brown earthen tones. Coincidence? Maybe just a fashion-sensible guy. Kasumi is a feminine Japanese name that means mist in English. In fact, Pokemon's Misty is named Kasumi in the Japanese version. Like Ryu, most female video game characters named Kasumi happen to be some kind of ninja or have ninja-like qualities. Mist, ninja,
and crunches. Lots of crunches.
It makes a kind of sense. Kasumi Todo from King of Fighters was trained by her father, an Aikido and Kobojutsu expert. When her father is killed, she decides to join the King of Fighters tournament to get vengeance, and she'll beat up on everyone who stands in her way. Not really much here in the way of mist-related abilities, but you try telling her that. The protagonist of the Dead or Alive series, Kasumi is famous for her ninjutsu abilities, which actually includes disappearing into a mist. She leaves her clan to seek vengeance against the man responsible for putting her master in a coma and enters the Dead or Alive tournament to do so. But sometimes she does take a break from fighting to go play volleyball with her mortal enemies. Video games are weird. A career thief, Kasumi Goto from Mass Effect is a master of stealth, espionage, observation, and eavesdropping. She requests the help of Commander, no really, this is my favorite store on the Citadel, Shepard, in order to steal some important data from a powerful criminal. Among her many other talents, she is also uniquely capable of wearing a skin-tight jumpsuit with a hood and not looking completely ridiculous while doing so. Leon is a name of Greek origin and it, unsurprisingly, means lion. Yup, they literally just changed a vowel. Leon is a powerful name denoting strength and courage. The Leon of Dead or Alive fame is a mercenary who enters the Dead or Alive tournament to fulfill the dying request of the love of his life. He's a hulking brute of a man specializing in close quarters combat with a strength and ferocity to match even the harshest of his opponents. Of course, if you want a fighter that takes the idea of having the spirit of a big cat a little more literally, you want King from Tekken. Leon S. Kennedy from the Resident Evil series is probably the unluckiest man alive, as the dead decide to rise from their graves on the first day of Leon's stint as a police officer in Raccoon City, and they haven't really stopped since. It takes the might of a lion to survive repeated zombie outbreaks, and Leon does it while rocking one of the most fabulous mains in all of gaming. For a guy who goes to probably the coolest boarding school in the world, Squall Leonhard from Final Fantasy VIII sure does brood a lot. Still, he's an incredibly versatile fighter, he's got a sweet lion chain necklace to match his name, and he popularized the gun sword. That's a gun attached to a sword, just in case you weren't sure. Raiden is the Japanese word for thunder and lightning. It's also the name for one of Japan's World War II fighter jets, and it's accepted as an alternate spelling of Raijin, the Shinto god of thunder and storms. Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 spent most of his debut game whining a whole lot, but he more than made up for it by becoming a cyborg ninja capable of slicing up giant robots into tiny pieces. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance in particular embraced the Thunder God association, often showing Raiden with lightning crackling around him. Raiden from Mortal Kombat may not pronounce his name the same way, but everything else is spot on. As the Guardian of Earthrealm, Lord Raiden is a mega-powerful thunder god who guides Mortal Kombat's protagonists and aids them in their quest to defeat the evil of Shao Kahn. Also, he does a really good Superman impression. Wata wata! The Raiden of Fatal Fury fame isn't some svelte martial artist. Instead, he's actually a rather large, kinda pudgy wrestler. In this case, we'll say he's more thunder than lightning. Adam is a name filled with biblical symbolism. Generally, it's a Hebrew word that means human, but can be used to symbolize all of mankind or the creation of mankind. Many times when a character is named Adam, there's some deeper meaning hidden beneath the surface. Probably the most symbolic of the Adams on this list, Adam Jensen sustains fatal injuries at the beginning of Deus Ex Human Revolution and goes through substantial cybernetic augmentation, so much so that he's almost more machine than man. He represents the dawn of a new age of human evolution, and the name Adam is a perfect fit. Russian GRU officer Adamska would eventually take on the ridiculous codename Revolver Ocelot, but during the course of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, players knew this gun-twirling lover of torture simply as Adamska, or Adam for short. Ocelot represents the evolution of the military as an organism, a concept that simultaneously makes total sense and is yet utterly confusing. Such is the world of Metal Gear Solid. Something nanomachines. Adam Phoenix is the father of Marcus Phoenix, who you play as in the Gears of War series. Adam spent his career as a scientist researching ways to defeat the Locust Menace, and at the end of Gears of War 3 he does just that, saving humanity and living up to his namesake in the process. The name Shepard means exactly what you think it does. a person who herds sheep. The name can be symbolic, as it can also represent the leader of a group, or flock, of people. Often this means a Christ-like figure who is a paragon of virtue and ends up sacrificing themselves for the greater good. Of course this list has to start with Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. He, or she, FemShep for life,
I'm Commander Shepard,
is not only the commander of the spaceship Normandy, they're also the savior of all races in the Milky Way galaxy. And no, the symbolism is not subtle at all. With a name like Shepard, BioWare might as well have called them Captain Hero. Adam Shepard from Silent Hill Homecoming is kind of a double whammy with the religious connotations, but then again, a horror game series about cults and hellish alternate realities will do that. Not wanting to send his children to be slaughtered for the Silent Hill cult's ritual sacrifices, Adam Shepard decides to confront them, thus setting the plot of Silent Hill Homecoming into motion. General Shepard from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is an interesting study. While this rugged military man is your ally for most of the game, he ultimately betrays your squad and kills your buddy Ghost. The idea is he wants to be the one to take down the game's other villain, Makarov, so he can be hailed as a hero. Just goes to show that you can't trust anyone. Not even Johnny McTrustworthy over there. I see you, Johnny. The next time you fire up your favorite game, take a look at whether or not the characters' names have any significance, symbolic or otherwise, on the story. You'll find it's more common than you think. If you enjoyed this video and want more just like it, follow GamesRadar at youtube.com/GamesRadar.